3, 4. Mustard, mayonnaise, turkey bacon too. That's the way we sandwich.
Welcome back. Not again.
Little callback there.
How we been since last week, Joe?
Pretty good. We've got running water. We won't harp on that like we did last time. We don't want to upset the creators of our of our show in the works. But yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been playing video games. A kind gentleman bought me Baldurs Gate 3.
How's that been?
Incredible.
You enjoying Baldurs Gate 3?
Well, I mean, what was the first thing I said when you said, "Hey, do you have Baldurs Gate 3 yet?"
I don't remember. Something along the lines of like you wanted it, but you needed $50 or something.
No. I just said I really want to get it, but I know as soon as I get it, I won't get any work done.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'll have no motivation
Yeah.
to do any work, and I'll just be playing that.
Yeah, 100%.
And sure enough, you got me Baldur's Gate 3, and I've done nothing but play Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, you're damn right. That's all you've done.
But yeah, it's a good game. I know everybody knows it's a good game. It's been a good game for like 2 years now or something.
Yeah, it won all. It swept the Game Awards last year. Absolutely swept.
Yeah. Even like categories it wasn't in.
Yeah,
like-
they just decided to throw them
It
in.
was like best 8-bit art
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 for this
Baldur's Gate
painting
3.
in the Char's Caress. Chares's
Yeah.
Caress, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got like 250 hours on Baldur's Gate 3,
Mm-hmm.
and I can still play it nonstop. I
Yeah.
mean, it's one of them games I almost never get tired of. I might have like a few day period where I'm like, I'm getting worn out, but then I'm like right back into it. I'll see a video on YouTube or something, and it's like, here's this broken class build, like dual class build. I'm like, oh fuck, now I gotta go try this.
Yeah.
Or they'll update the game and like add a few more endings and like a few more options or something, and fix like some parts of the third act that were glitchy, and I'm like, okay, I gotta see what's this. And then they added the mod tools like last month, and me and Lou re-downloaded it and fucked around with the mod tools. I mean,
like there's so much replayability. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's literally all different when you replay it. You can have a different class, a different character, a different race, and like depending on your race, you get treated differently by all the other characters, and like
exactly.
all the branching paths and everything. It's like, yeah, a lot of it, some of it is redundant, and you'll get the same outcome in a few different choices or whatever. But there's a little something different, and there's a little, whatever. Something I've done with Elden Ring a couple times is I'll make a character that's like a character from a TV show that I like.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll just try to play it like how that character would play.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
So for Elden Ring, I did like Zoro from One Piece, like the guy with the 3 swords.
Okay.
And so I always had 3 swords, like 3 katanas equipped to my guy, even though you can't use 3 swords in Elden Ring. But like the weight matters.
Yeah.
So like I had this useless sword that was just weighing me down so I couldn't like dodge roll as much as you could.
That's awesome.
Like without the weight.
That's a good idea.
But I just ran around with my shirt off to like negate the effect. But gave him like green hair and a scar and all that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but obviously Baldur's Gate has a lot more like decisions and like conversations and whatever. So for this run, the one I'm doing by myself, I made my guy like Saitama from One Punch Man.
One Punch Man.
So I'm a bald monk, and I'm just punching people, and I'm trying to make all the decisions kind of like, for the most part, what he would do. It's kind of difficult because some of the decisions are like the options they give you. It's like, he wouldn't say that, but I just try to get the closest
option there. Yeah.
Also, anytime any of the dialogue says hero in it, I have to like
use that one. Yeah. I've tried to do like an pure evil playthrough, and I just can't do it. Every time I start one, it's like so hard to like stay completely evil, because like it's always something pulling you one way, like either like, oh, I get a special item, or I get extra XP for doing this, I might as well just do it, or something like that. And I always end up being like right down the middle. even when I'm trying to actively be evil. But I started an evil playthrough, and I almost got like 3/4 of the way through, and then we stopped playing for a while, and I just need to go back to it, I guess. But yeah, Baldur's Gates, I love how the battles, even when you're just like reloading a save or anything, the battles are always different. Like they'll take a different path or something, or like, yeah, it's just very unique. Like I was watching you play last night, and we were going through that puzzle room, and everybody kept getting blown off the side of the cliff.
Yeah.
That was so funny, dude.
There was a lot of, what the fuck? I mean, what? But I hit the, what's happening?
The way it violently blew Gale off of the sides the first time was so funny.
Yeah. And then I was like trying to escape, and you're like, dude, I'll give you $100 if you actually get away from this thing.
Yeah.
And I got all but one guy away.
Yeah.
And it was only because, like, the only reason I didn't get the fourth one away was because I messed up like the movement with the jump and the whatever.
Yeah.
It's just, you know,
very specific sometimes.
I only have 16 hours in the game.
Yeah.
So it's like more hours than what you'd play for like most games.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm like, I'm just still getting my feet wet.
I had like 20-something hours before I even got past the first act when I played the first time, because I was making sure that I found like every possible path I could. And even doing that, there's still like 3 big missions in Act 1 that I have yet to even touch or play at all, because I have not come across them, or I keep forgetting on my new playthroughs. So there's still so much to the game that I've just not even found.
That's the other thing about the like finding missions or finding places that's so cool about it, is you can get to those locations by like, it seems like every time you try to find a place, there's like 3 or 4 ways you could have gotten to that spot.
Exactly, yeah. There's multiple ways to get into everywhere, and it's just, it leaves you so many options to choose from for all that stuff. So it's just so very personalized for the whole game, and I love that.
Yeah. Because, like, you know, some games, it's like, oh, yeah, you can go to the front gate. Oh, but did you know that if you climb this ladder in the back, there's actually a secret way in?
Yeah, exactly.
Baldur's Gate's like, yeah, there's that, there's the ladder, there's a wall you can blow up.
There's
a
76
tunnel
holes
you can go down. Oh, and if you're a small character, you can do that.
Yeah.
So if you're a big character, it's like,
yeah.
it's freaking 6 ways to get into every place.
Oh, yeah. Don't even get me started on all the cracks and crevices that you can slip into, because I have not even explored a fraction of those. I mean, a lot of them you need to be like gaseous form, or like a mouse, or like a cat or something. Yeah, I just usually don't go with a build that has that. So
sometimes you have to be like a little egg.
Yeah, a little egg, just a little egg guy. There is a wild magic in the game if you play a ranger or something, I think, and it can randomly trigger and like turn everybody into a wheel of cheese or something, and like you'll be like rolling around the battlefield as a wheel of cheese. It's pretty funny.
Wow.
There's some pretty crazy ones, or it'll turn everybody into a dog or something. It's pretty cool.
And which one are you, the dog or the cheese?
I'm the cheese. Always the cheese. You always have to pick the cheese when you have that option. Cheese wheel or dog?
Who asks you? It's Vlakith that asks you that, right?
Vlakith asks, cheese wheel or dog?
Yeah.
And
she's like, give me the artifact, give me the artifact.
Give me the artifact.
Why aren't you giving me the artifact? And then she says cheese wheel or dog.
And then Lazo gets pissed if you choose dog.
You
so
dog.
You always got to be careful of that.
She gets really pissed.
I'm so glad that you're enjoying Baldur's Gate, because oh my god, that's like it's become my favorite game, and I never thought anything would ever trump like Legend of Zelda or something
Or
for
Skyrim,
me. But
whatever,
like or Skyrim even, but like that's become my favorite game so effortlessly.
What'd you do if I just hated it? Like I start playing, I'm like, this is fuck. You can't do anything. I want it linear. I want one path.
I have a couple
follow.
of friends who have bought the game and tried to play with us, and they're like that. They're not necessarily like that, but like they just can't get into it. They hate the movement. They won't try to get used to it. You know. But I grew up with like RuneScape and shit, so like I'm totally fine with clicking where I want to go and like, you know, all that stuff. So it doesn't bother me too much. But for somebody who doesn't play games like that, it's totally a jarring change.
Yeah, and like when I first started playing it, and I was sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Or no, we were playing together, and I mean I was complaining about the movement, but I complained about everything. Like I just, you know, that's what we do is
Yeah.
gripe about things that shouldn't be griped about. And so yeah, as soon as I start trying to do the movement, I'm like, what the fuck? My guy's not going.
Yeah.
I can't see anything. Why does he go up?
Yeah. It takes a minute if you've not played games like that before.
Yeah.
And I'm one who usually hates games like that, like XCOM and shit like that. I just can't get into those games. And I'm sure they're fine, but what I've played of XCOM and like some other games of the sort, they're just like very linear. They don't add much deviation.
Yeah.
And it's not got the freedom that like Baldur's Gate has, where like if I wanted to fight a boss and I knew I was about to fight that boss, I could go into somewhere and get a bunch of smoke powder barrels and like stash them on all my characters and then go throw them around the boss and then light them all up and make the biggest explosion in the fucking world. And it's just like that is the creativity that you can get into is just so unmatched.
Or even just simpler, like, oh, this is about to be a battle. I'm going to separate my guys, put one over here, one over here, one over here.
Yeah.
And put Gale in the back.
Yeah.
And then I'll start it. So we're not like all
exactly,
bunched up in the fight, you know. It's pretty cool.
A lot of times I'll have like 3 characters that you can see, and I'll have them walk in, and I'll have one guy who's invisible, and he'll sneak around while they're talking to the guy, and I'll have him like shove the guy off mid conversation. That's always fun.
Yeah. What were you saying about like XCOM and stuff? It reminds me of kind of how I felt about Dark Souls games before they made Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't really get into the Dark Souls games because they were just like too much, at least in my opinion. I haven't explored every facet of it, but they were just too much about the combat.
Yeah.
It was just like fight a guy and then fight another guy and then fight another guy. But Elden Ring just that little bit of extra open world run around, like things are just happening around you.
Pick
that you
where
can
you want to go, kind of.
You know? And like, I don't know, it sounds like I'm just saying, I just wanted more space in between to run before I fought another guy.
Yeah.
But like, Elden Ring feels more like things are just happening in the world that you're coming across. And then, I don't know, Dark Souls felt more like, here's this path you're going down and you have to fight all the guys on the path.
You're kind of on a mission in Dark Souls more than Elden Ring, where you're kind of just like, figure it out, do what you want, man.
Try to kill everyone in the whole place.
I'm the same way. I was never good at the Dark Souls games anyway, so I never really played them to a big extent, but my brother was, and he played them religiously as a kid because that was some of the few games he was allowed to play. But Elden Ring for me, because I bought it over the summer and played a little bit of it, it's so much more enjoyable for me because I can explore and shit and kind of craft my own thing. It's kind of like a Breath of the Wild was like a big fresh breath for a lot of people, because you can kind of like, it was like that. You started off, you come out of the cave, and then if you wanted, you could go straight for Ganon and fight him pretty much. But obviously you don't want to do that because there's so much of the game to explore and experience.
It's kind of the galaxy brain thing of Breath of the Wild, where it was like, oh, you can go right to Ganon and fight him. Yeah. But then the galaxy brain thing is like, don't fight Ganon.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the last thing you want to do. Like, do everything else with that.
Yeah. Which Breath of the Wild was good, but I think it's a little, you get tired of it quick, I think, in my opinion. I had to restart my game probably 3 or 4 times when playing Breath of the Wild before I finally got to the end.
Just because you fall off and then
I'd fall off and I'd come back. I remember at one point I was in the elephant, the big elephant. I forget what he's called, but you fight a water guy in there. Yeah, you fight a water guy in there, and they kept telling me before I fought him, stock up on arrows real hard. You're gonna need arrows, and I was like, yeah, I will, and so I did. But I didn't get near enough that I thought I would need. And so I was left to fight that whole boss by throwing my spears at him and timing it just right and then getting in the water and swimming to the next. It was so complicated. And coming back to that after taking such a big break was so lost on me, because I had to remember the controls and I had to remember how to oh my God.
Yeah. I played it. I didn't play it until I moved out to California because my brother had it on his Switch. Like I didn't have a Switch until just like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But I played it on there and I loved it. I mean, I put a ton of hours and like got most of the shrines, like went around, and like I don't know, that is one aspect of the game that I don't love is the shrines.
Yeah,
like
I wasn't crazy about them either.
It's a cool concept, but it didn't feel like something that I wanted to do 80 times.
Right, yeah.
You know?
For
Something that,
sure,
like maybe like 20 times or something.
Yeah.
Cause,
and even 20 is kind of pushing it.
Because eventually it's just like, oh, you've learned this puzzle, you've learned this puzzle, you've learned that puzzle. Now do the first and the fourth one together.
Yeah, they just started mixing and matching them at some point, and it's just like, come on.
I know we just said Baldur's Gate, we love the customization, like all the stuff you can do, but Breath of the Wild, part of the shrine stuff for me was like, yeah, it's cool to figure out how to get through the shrine, how to solve the puzzle.
Yeah.
But some of the time it was, I mean, I'll just do the little stop time thing and hit it over there, like fucking launch it over there. And I'll figure it out from there. You know, like you could kind of cheese it in a way that wasn't like didn't go in line with the puzzle, but also didn't feel like you were really getting away with something. It was just like, hit it over there and then.
I feel like they could have done it where like you did a few shrines, learned how all of your like things worked, and then maybe a couple more, like you said, like maybe 20 of them. But even 20 I think is kind of probably pushing it. I think maybe 10. But like once you learn those, it feels like you're going there to relearn them more than do a task or like put them to use. So like I would rather there have been like dungeons where I just use all of that in the same sense, kinda, but I use it more naturally rather than just like, here's a puzzle, figure it out with your things.
Exactly.
Put it in a dungeon naturally where I have to like think and be like, oh, there's a thing here. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Making like a mini dungeon, quote unquote, for it is just kind of not what I expected, which they do use those stuff in like the dungeons or whatever, but like, I don't know. It just feels oversaturated after a certain point.
Yeah, and like all the big beasts that you get on, a lot of it has to do with those puzzles that you figured out in the shrines and and all that. But yeah, like you said, you don't need all the ones that they put on there.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess, you know, to be fair, they put that many on there because maybe the average player is not gonna seek out every single shrine.
Right.
They're just gonna do the ones they come across, which to them might be 20, might be 10.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
So they put 60 on there, but it's like, is the average like 11-year-old kid just like kind of running around and like, oh, there's one.
The 11-year-old kid got to like maybe the first boss, and then he quit, and then he played Fortnite, and then now every time he opens Legend of Zelda, he's at the same spot every time, and he runs around for 5 minutes and then turns it off.
But then you turn 12 and you beat the whole game.
Yeah, and then you turn 12, randomly grasp the concept of like how to do tasks in a game, and then you start getting really good at games. I remember I didn't beat a game until like I was probably middle school. I think I told you about this. It was open season for the PS2. It was like the first game I really fully beat for myself. Yeah. And I got it to where I could beat it like in under an hour, like 30 minutes. I was beating that over and over.
Speed running open season 2. Wow.
We need to do that for the channel one day. Speed run.
Put your money where your mouth is. Do that log run part game.
I beat it not long ago. Now that I'm remembering, I say that and I'm remembering it. I beat it on Discord with Lou. Like Lou watched me beat it and play through the whole game one night. Like it was so fast. Like that's crazy. I forgot all about that. That just randomly entered my brain again.
That's funny. Yeah, open season was a good movie.
Yeah. And then they made 3 more.
And then they made 3 more. Yeah. I guess that's how it happens.
Yeah.
Man, you know that one of the few like movie to TV switches that really worked was Back at the Barnyard.
Oh yeah, Back at the Barnyard was so good, dude. That show was great.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Penguins of Madagascar was like that as well.
Yeah.
Penguins of Madagascar was pretty dang good.
Yeah.
After
I would
a
put
while.
Back at the Barnyard above it. But
for sure.
Penguins
for sure.
is like,
yeah, Back at the Barnyard is like the top one of like the movie shows, I think, honestly. maybe Jimmy Neutron's probably high up there too, because Jimmy Neutron was really good as well. People forget that it was based off of the movie first.
I would wager that they had more plans to make Jimmy Neutron into a show than they did back at the barnyard.
For sure.
Like I think the Jimmy Neutron model was much more likely. Let's make a movie, and then if it works, we'll make the show.
Yeah.
And then Barnyard was like, oh, the people love this Barnyard thing. Let's make a show out of it.
It's crazy because I just watched a video yesterday that like one of the pilot like test screening footages of Barnyard when they first were like pitching it as an idea got leaked and was like not leaked but released, and it's no longer like lost media. So like you can watch the test screening of it, and it's just like almost the same animation but like not quite, So it's just really like an old version of the movie, like a pre-alpha version of the movie essentially. It's so weird.
That's called boy tipping.
That's called boy tipping. Yeah,
see, that's
Back at the Barnyard was such a good show.
That's what we need to do. Instead of me trying to do an impression of anybody because I can't do any impressions, I'm just gonna say like a robot. I'm just gonna say the line, and then I expect you to follow through with the impression.
You just gotta find the right impressions for you to do.
Yeah.
You can do Elmer Fudd really good.
Yeah. What did he say?
What's Elmer Fudd say again? Big rabbits.
Why? Hey. Where's all the rabbits?
Where's Oliver Rabbit?
Hickory dickory dock. It's duck o'clock.
I can't do Elmer Fudd very well.
Bleep, 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 but I'm Elmer Fudd.
I don't know about that, Doc.
I could do a really good dead guy. Ready?
Yeah.
Pretty good, right?
Oh my God, Joe, are you okay?
I can do
you were really dead.
I can do a really good dead guy.
Yeah, look here.
Pretty dead seeming, right?
The horse has got a boner over there.
Oh
You see
no.
that? He's ready.
I'm glad the goats are locked up.
The goats are in a
That
cage
would
and the
be
horse is coming
bad.
for them.
So what did you get up to this last week?
I was editing, trying to get in the gear of things because I'm slacking a lot. I'm having trouble focusing on a lot of things. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get kicked into the gear that I need to be so I can get more work done. And I think it's working all right. I got a video done. I'm working on my Roblox one, which again is so weird to say. I think I mentioned that in the first episode.
Working on my Roblox demo.
Yeah.
Well, by the time this gets released, hopefully that'll be out. So go check it out. PotentFrog, Roblox.
PotentFrog Roblox video.
It'll be good.
It'll be good.
Good.
You heard it from
I didn't
the
want
horse's
to.
mouth.
I didn't want to describe it inaccurately. He says it's gonna be good, so
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun time. Bring your family.
tell your family and friends, make them watch it, force their eyes open, Clockwork Orange style.
Show grandma. She'll know.
She'll know. She'll know. You know what I know?
What do you know?
It's too windy.
I know. It's very cold.
I'm like relatively warm, but then my hands are like
Exactly. My hands
about to crumble.
freezing.
We're doing this for you.
How's your weekly dad update?
Oh man. Okay, so I have a cat. My dad has a cat. These two cats are living in our house where we both live.
Of course.
Now, there's an upstairs, there's downstairs. There's one cat that stays downstairs most of the time, and then he goes upstairs to sleep. My cat is all over the place. Now, my dad's cat is like 11 or 12,
Okay.
I think. So this is how he goes down the stairs.
Well, see, that's the most wonderful thing about Tigger's.
And then my cat's just like, he's young and he can run and whatever. So
Spry.
you can tell it's all wood, so you can tell by the sound what cat is going up and down the stairs.
Oh yeah.
So my dad's cat has started just shitting everywhere.
Oh man. That sucks.
He was doing really well.
Oh man.
Going in the litter box. It's like 2 cats, same litter box, whatever. Dudley, my dad's cat, has just started pooping on the floor. Like,
Man.
and he does like what cats do sometimes when they get old, where like they'll just cough up hairballs, or they'll like throw up their food sometimes if it didn't digest right or whatever.
Right.
Like, it's fairly common for them to do that.
Yeah.
So one day he goes in the rug in the living room and he throws up, and I knew that because he went. And then he threw up. And so I'm like, whatever. I go get the paper towels. I clean it up. As I'm cleaning it up, I look to my left. And now the reason I look to my left is because I hear. I hear. And I look to the left, and Dudley is just hunched over, pooping on the rug. And I couldn't,
on the rug.
I couldn't like yell at him or like move him because he was already actively pooping. So if I moved him, he would just like launch poop. So I'm like, okay. So I had to clean that up, and that night I go into the bathroom to brush my teeth. I walk in, I step on the rug in front of the sink. There's poop on the rug. And I almost stepped in it. I was like an inch from stepping in it. And it was one of those moments where like if I had stepped in it, we would have one cat in the house.
Yeah. Oh man.
But it's okay. But my dad's good.
That's good.
He's been playing.
Asked about your dad, not.
It's all connected, okay? My dad is nothing without that cat. But yeah, no, he's good. He's been playing music, doing dad shit, He's been watching. You know what he's been watching?
What?
You know the show Bull?
I've heard of it, I think.
Okay, so here's the show. There's a guy, Bull, right? He is a doctor. He is not a lawyer.
Okay.
But
he acts as one?
Is in a courtroom all the time for some reason. And his brother or his stepbrother, I don't remember, brother-in-law or something like that, he is a lawyer.
Okay.
Now, they're a team. They formed a team, okay? And here's how a typical episode of Bull works. Okay? They get a case. The case involves something that Bull has to figure out. Something's not all the facts aren't here. So Bull's got to find out what's missing.
Something's amiss.
So then his brother-in-law or whatever relation it is, the lawyer, they go to court, and the brother they show this every episode. Every single episode, they show the brother talking to the jury and doing a process which I assume is like partially a real thing that they do, which is talking to the jury and like confirming the jurors, basically.
Right.
Like interviewing them to see if they're qualified to be a juror on this specific case, like if they have any strong biases about that specific case, which I know is a thing. But like the way they do it, I'm sure it's kind of dramatized a little bit. Anyway, so every episode he talks to Bull, and they decide, okay, now we're gonna need people that are nice but not too nice. Like that's basically how it goes. They're like, we need to figure out if they're the kind of person that would stop and help someone who fell. Whatever. That's like the basis of the thing. So they start interviewing these jurors, and the guy's like, let me give you a scenario. Okay, and this is how he sounds. Now, you're walking down the street, and you see a man with a little girl. And the girl is trying to get away. And you're walking past them. What do you do? And then like the guy will be like, well, I mean, I don't think it's any of my business. So, you know, that could be his daughter. Like, it's not my place to step in or whatever. And then he's like, Judge, I'd like to strike this juror from the whatever, and like gets rid of him. And then the next person will be like, well, I think that I would call the police. So, you know, something stupid.
Something.
And so they're
typical.
like, Judge, I want to confirm this juror. You know, and they do that every episode. So they go on. It's this like big dramatic court thing that we've seen a million times in all these crime shows. But it's like kind of, it's just ticked up a notch. It's just like way more formulaic. Bull, the whole time, is in the courtroom, not talking to anybody in the courtroom except for the lawyer and the defendant. And he has an earpiece. Which is connected to this room of other people that he's getting info from.
Right.
And somehow, I don't know, I'm sure it gets explained in Bull lore, but somehow they can tell when a juror is going to say like yay or nay.
Yeah.
And they have this big screen up. It's like a laboratory thing that these people are in.
Right.
And they have this screen up with all the jurors' faces on it.
What the hell?
And that they're the ones that are like gonna be against the defendant, they're in red. And the ones that are for are in green. Okay?
Okay.
Are you following?
I'm following.
Okay. Green, good. Red, bad.
Red, bad.
Okay. Now,
Don't pass go.
do not collect your own. So at various points throughout the court proceedings, this lawyer is talking to the witness or whatever, things are going back and forth, and Bull's like, how are we looking? And she's the lady on the other end's like, well, we've got 3 green and 8 red, or whatever it is.
It's not looking good.
And then something will happen, like the guy will ask a question, or the witness will like say something damning, you know. Uh-oh. And anyway, I don't want to get off track, but there's a big horse coming towards us. And he's ready to
fuck. He's ready to fuck.
Yeah. What's up, buddy? Jesus. Go on. Go away. No.
That was so warm.
I don't even know what to do.
We are Mr. Ed. Hello, buddy.
Mr. Ed.
Hello, buddy. How you doing?
You got something to say?
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna eat that. Anyway, like I was saying about
Well, we really look like a horse's ass.
yeah. Okay. Well,
Animal friends.
So, I was talking about the show Bull,
Yes.
a long-winded tangent about
Not horse, bull.
describing the show.
Right?
Yeah, not horse, bull. Horse showed up, not a bull.
Oh.
Talking about bull, horse came in, then we were talking about a horse.
Okay.
Okay. Bull, a doctor. Bull, not a lawyer. He's getting messages from this laboratory of women who have the jurors' faces on a screen. Red bad, green good. Okay?
Red, bad, green, good. There's 3
So
and 8.
throughout the court proceedings, yeah, 3 8, good. You were paying attention. Okay. Throughout the court proceedings, they like, we got 2 more green. You know, like stuff they say. The acting is fine.
Yeah.
It's like not good, but not bad. But it's like an in between place where it's like the least enjoyable to me. Because bad acting is funny, good acting is good.
Right.
In between acting is like that's just bad acting.
Just bad acting.
You're just like
yeah.
watching it and you're like,
just bad
it's like not believable, but also not funny for how bad it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just people getting up there on the witness stand. They're like, well, she just meant so much to me, and I just couldn't imagine a world without her.
Yeah.
You know,
What a show.
it's just like kind of midway acting. You know.
Yeah.
So my father, he had just like the most basic, like spotty antenna channels. Like he would occasionally get this show. Like I said, I think he used to maybe a couple episodes before this. Now we have internet, we have whatever, access to a lot more channels, a lot more shows. There is a bull channel.
I'm assuming like on one of those, they like Pluto or whatever or something like that. Yeah. Bull channel.
Or it might even be just like a cable thing or like an antenna
Cable
thing.
channel,
But we don't have cable. It's just like a free thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's just an antenna, like bull channel.
Bull channel.
And they just play bull 24/7,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Some of
And
these channels,
that's what
That's
my
what he
dad
likes,
watches.
yeah.
And I've shown him how to watch Andy Griffith on Pluto. And like I've shown him how to do it. I'm like, we've watched episodes before, like when I'm in the room.
My papa loves The Closer with that little old blonde lady.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think he likes her, and I think that's why he watches it. But every
Yeah.
morning, that's what he's watching, and on
Yeah.
TV it airs every morning, and he'll watch that for a couple hours probably.
And like my dad, you know, every night he would watch Andy Griffith at like 8 o'clock. It would come on, and then there would be 2 episodes, so he'd watch that for an hour. And whatever, that was like a typical thing.
Yeah.
This is like, Bull is just on, and he is in there watching it.
Always.
And that's just what he does when he is eating or when he's doing whatever. But yeah, I haven't actually sat through an entire episode of Bull, but it's kind of like when they do 24 Hours of a Christmas Story on Christmas. It's like you don't have to sit down for the whole thing. You just catch chunks of it, and then eventually those chunks form a full movie.
We need to interview your dad on an episode and interview him all about Bull.
Yeah.
For like the whole episode.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We
just
even get
happen
off
to
on
mention Bull a lot. Yeah.
We even get off on tangents, and then when it like there's a break, we go.
Yeah.
So what would you say is like a good number of greens to start out with?
Yeah. We'll get him in the inner ins and outs of Bull, and he'll tell us about the characters,
Yeah.
their own lives, what they're doing.
So what's like the biggest deficit? Like, has there ever been one where there's been like all reds and then they make it out at the end, or what? Surely not.
Yeah. Actually, a good balance is 2 to 8, 3 to 8.
You actually don't want to start with more greens than reds.
It's actually a bad thing if you do, because that means more people are likely to swap sides.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a common misconception. You actually don't want more greens than reds at the beginning. That's what I thought when I first started watching the show, but it's not true. Oh, okay. One more thing about Bull, and then we'll be done until the episode with my dad where we interview him about Bull. The main guy, Bull.
Yeah.
He talks like Batman.
That makes it even better.
He talks like Batman, and I think that might be part of the reason why my dad likes it, is because the guy just, oh, well, what is...
He's like the Witcher.
But where? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. He's like, but where? If she murdered him, then where's the body?
Murder. Signs of a struggle.
Yeah, that's exactly how he sounds.
Victim crawled 5 feet to his death.
Yeah.
Bled out here on the patio. Wife was cooking when he got home.
Why are there shell casings from 3 different guns?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just a fucking lawyer.
Yeah.
He's not a lawyer.
He's not a lawyer.